Hello everyone, so yeah, another how-to video, except this is less of a how to do something, more as a general video just around what good Chromehounds etiquette looks like. And this is going to be very general. It's not actually going to talk too much about the version of Chromehounds that we have at the moment because it's quite transversal, but I will touch on one thing about that. So I suppose very briefly, this won't be too long of a video. This is going to be very quick. So, it's just very general. But initially, I would just want to mention a couple of things around builds, play styles, and one other thing that is a big no, right? But yeah, so very quickly. So I think in terms of builds, there's not too many things that are considered to be dick moves, but I suppose the first one would be nade stacks. People don't like coming across nade stacks. They think it's incredibly toxic because of how strong grenades are. I think they're a very situational thing, personally. But I absolutely understand why people get pissed off with that. So it's considered somewhat unsportsmanlike, as are triple heat seekers or quote-unquote missiles, as a Chromehounds itself terminology refers to them. They're also considered a little bit unsportsmanlike. I will say, though, for those two builds, it depends on the context that you're in, right? So if you're playing something very casual and you're playing something where people will... you're just messing around, right? No one's taking it too seriously. If you bring one of those, odds are people aren't really going to care too much. But at the same time, it's sort of a bit of a griefy kind of build for you to run. If you're just sort of playing casually, then why are you bringing that thing? There's no point, because you're not going to prove anything to anybody. You're just going to annoy people. So those two in particular are considered a little bit cheap. I think also people can get annoyed at Shino carts. So if you're not aware, what a Shino cart is basically it's wheels, cockpit, usually a Brook, but sometimes a Farasha cockpit, and they've usually got 4 or 6 grenades on top. So of course with a Shino cart you can move very quick, you can get up on people very quick, and because grenades are so strong you can end up stripping somebody very quick as well. So yeah, they're a bit... I think they're more of a grey area. I think people are more comfortable with Shino carts than they are nade stacks and triple heat seekers, but it's very much about the people that you're playing with. Some people consider them a bit cheap, some people consider them a bit annoying to play against. So again, it's just one of those things where know your audience, don't try and piss people off, because it's just not conducive to a healthy community. The other thing I want to touch on is around dropping bases. So this is going to be largely around when you're playing in standard matches where you have the win condition for dropping a base. This is subject to debate. And I'm for any veterans who are watching this, I'm purposely omitting one thing here. But I think with base dropping, it's a tricky thing. If you're just going to beeline and look straight for a base, then I don't really understand why you're playing. Put bluntly, I don't get the point. The game's been gone for 15 years. If all you want to do is aim at something inanimate, I don't see the point of playing, personally. But that's my opinion. Many other people would disagree with me, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. But yeah, I think dropping bases largely they'll be acceptable if you're sort of playing. You're playing the game because ultimately, right, and the vast majority of the community will agree with me on this, is when you load into a standard match, you're going to be playing for hounds first. You want to kill all the other hounds, and that's the best way to win. Unequivocally, that's the best way to win. Because ultimately you're proving you're actually better than the other team, and you get those bragging rights, you've played well, you've got total destruction, that kind of thing. Whereas if you're just going to beeline straight for the base, you're not really playing it too strongly, and there's very efficient ways of doing that which are considered the creme de la creme of being an asshole on this game. So yeah, take it as you will. I think there are circumstances for it, but honestly, as far as my opinion is, it's very much a last resort. I don't get anything out of it whatsoever. If I win by base destruction, it's just sort of shrug, I've wasted my time. And the same goes if somebody drops my base. I think it's just a massive waste of time. But yeah, that's enough on dropping bases. Everybody else has their opinion as well, so they're more than welcome to it. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is more something that was a huge no back in the day, and that's disconnecting. So essentially shutting your game down early so that it drops you out the game, right? So now the reason it was a big issue back in the day is because if you were the host and you dropped out of a game, you wouldn't have the loss against your record, you wouldn't lose merit, your squad wouldn't record the loss, capture points on the map won't get altered, that kind of thing. So there were a few people in and around the community who used to do that quite a lot, and it was harmful back then. Now, obviously, we're not tracking stats at the moment. We're not tracking, we haven't got the war up, so none of the squad stuff, the leaderboard stuff, the map stuff is actually being affected. It's just dumb, right? There's no point disconnecting. If you don't have the intention of playing the whole game, then why are you doing it? But at the same time, because of the way that we've got everything working, and because this is very much a community-led effort to get the game operating, I have noticed personally when a couple of people have disconnected, it's thrown a few things out of kilter, especially when they've been hosting the game, because it drops it for everyone, and it's created some issues on the APIs and on the server itself. So again, if you're going to do that, it just makes you a massive asshole. In respect to what the community's trying to do when they're trying to get games going. So again, it's just a please don't do it, because if you're going to start fucking with the technical solution to get the game up and running, you're genuinely making the experience worse for every single other person who's trying to play at the moment. So again, just please don't do it, you know. But honestly, I think that's all I've really got to say about etiquette. I think a lot of these things are quite straightforward, to be honest. It's just don't be a dick and let everybody play the game and have fun.